If you could live green, would you? I'm Nick Fedorov, host of Things Green, where we introduce nuggets of green lifestyle from gardening, upcycling, answering your questions, sustainability, even discussing environmental issues. You can become more confident in making the right decisions for you and your family. So come along as we are Things Green. A tisket, a tasket, I brought my little basket because we are going to be harvesting. Okay, so when we're talking about harvesting, you got to stay on top of it, because if you don't stay on top of it, they can really get out of hand. In fact, they'll actually stop producing vegetables for you. So here we have a cucumber, and I'm not a big fan, I'm really not, I'm not a huge fan of having my cucumbers being picked on the growing on the trellis like this, because it's really easy to miss them, and I'm going to show you why. So here we have one right here at the Things Green. Look at that. All right, so that's a pickle. Look at the size of that. This is beautiful. I don't like when they get this big. I like when they get a little bit smaller. So we're going to put them in there. But just as we started filming, I didn't realize I've got one in here, and look at this thing. It is a behemoth. Look at that. Isn't that something? Look at the size difference between the two. Pretty much they're close. But anyway, the point is that you need to really get inside and look at what's going on in your garden. So I always like to take and try to get a little bit of a stem going on over here. This is about the size that I like to pick them, right here. That's what I like. Absolutely perfect. So anyway, there's a whole bunch more that's in here. Now, when you do your picking, don't be afraid to pick the plant up. Let me show you. You literally pick it up like this. And see, look what happens when you pick them up. You can see other cucumbers all the way around. This is 1, 2, and 3 plants. So, and you know, you're going to be harvesting every day. There's a lot of activity that's going on. All right, let's get some more things. Let's see what else we have over here. Here we have a bunch of different types of cucumbers. We've got, these are Romas right here. These are pole Romas. These are all going to stay small. These are also the Romas. These right here are heirloom tomatoes. We've got beefsteak tomatoes. And I'll just pull this off just to kind of show you here. We do have, whoops. So we have that. That's a Roma tomato. This is what they call and determinate. There's two different kind of tomatoes. You have determinate and indeterminate. Determinate means that the tomato is going to last for all at one time. You're going to harvest basically at one time. So that's what you want your Romas. You want them to be determinate so that you can make a sauce out of them, because you want a bunch of them at the same time. Your indeterminate ones, they last throughout a longer growing season. Now, as far as pruning is concerned, I'm not a big fan of pruning. We've had tomato experts on our show before, but if they do end up getting all whacked out on you and just unruly, then feel free to take and prune them back once in a while. Like for instance, here we have these cherry tomatoes. And by the way, cherry tomatoes are pretty cool because they grow on these pinnacles. In fact, I'm going to show you right here. They grow all together like this, all on the pinnacle. And what's interesting about it as well is that they're going to ripen from here to the front. So you'll always get these a little bit more ripe than you will the ones in the front. Okay, now over to my, oh, look at this. Oh, we got a bunch of these. Can you see these in here? Look at this. Oh, that is so cool. So if you look inside this plant right here, you're gonna see all over the place, we've got red ones. And what we do here at the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens, we normally don't take the whole pinnacle off. We'll just actually harvest just these little itty bitty ones as we go along. Okay, so I started talking about pruning. If I wanted to, I'd have no problem, you know, just pulling off the wayward growth, the stuff that's in the way. We will have to sacrifice a lot of fruit on this, but that's just the way that it kind of goes sometimes. So, but if we want to get through and walk by this area, then we're just going to be haphazardly pruning this stuff to get it out of the way so that we can walk through. This is not going to hurt the plant whatsoever. We've got so much going on over here. In fact, what I'll do is later I'll go back and I will find all the ripe ones that I've cut off, and we'll harvest those, because I noticed there was a lot of red on there. And see, now we can walk by, we can get in here a lot easier. There's, you know, things aren't going to be in the way. I just absolutely love the scent of these. Okay, so we have more tomatoes. Can you see these right here? Look, these are all more. These are beefsteak tomatoes. They are going to get huge, 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 huge. They are not a pretty looking kind of thing. That's the nature of what they are over here. So I'll tell you what, let's come over here. I've got some interesting stuff that's happening over here. And what I mean about that is that we got weeds growing up. Now, these right here happen to be dandelions. And you know, you can go online, and I've posted these before, where the dandelions are doing their thing, and it's like, oh, you're pulling it, and people are like, oh, how can you pull out that? It's a weed. Come on. Very few people will actually take and they will use the leaves of a dandelion, and it is edible. Oops, very bitter though. Why is it bitter? Because it flowered. So we don't want the flowering aspect to happen with these things, and really should get rid of that, because those seeds are going to get all over the place, and it's going to be a particular problem. Now, what's interesting about this whole area is that this is a pumpkin patch. It's also a watermelon patch. It used to be a patch for cabbage and for broccoli, and we just kind of let the cabbage and broccoli run wild over here. But if you were to stay over there, this area right here is being fed. It's only 1, 2, 3, like 4 plants, and we're talking 40 feet in that direction, 40 feet in that direction. It's amazing. You need the room for pumpkins, and you have to be careful about a lot of things. But right here we have this white stuff on here. That means that we've got some white sooty mold. That's not white sooty mold, but just some powdery mildew. But anyway, let's do some harvesting over here. This right here is this right here is a cabbage. Normally we just take out the whole plant. Cut this off. And cabbages have always been a surprise to me, because you never know if you're going to get bugs inside of them or not. Nature. You can tell we have insect activity. Look at these holes right here. Good insect activity, but that's what happens. Hey, you're going to grow organically. That's the way it is. You have to remember, a certain portion of your crop is going to be given up to the critters. So this is a small head. It's actually a kind of an older head over here. Let's see if I can cut this off, or will I have to wait till I get it someplace else to cut it up. So cut that off. And now we can have some cabbage. You know how I like cabbage? Cut it, steam it, a little bit of salt, and then you eat it. So let me put this in my little basket over here. Now what do we got going is this right here is broccoli. So the broccoli, I leave it. We can actually eat this, and we just keep on harvesting off of it all the time. But I give it to the chickens. The chickens like eating this kind of stuff. So it's kind of a treat for them. And we've got some pollination going on over here. That's nice. Okay, let's continue. So now look at here. We have, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I've got a pumpkin growing over here. Isn't this cool? Got a pumpkin growing right there. But let me show you what we do with the pumpkins as we go along in a second. First, we have some other harvesting we're going to do here. This right here, I find out that the eggplant and the the tomatoes, they grow in harmony over here, which is good. And check out all this eggplant. Lots of eggplant. Grows like crazy over here. Get it everywhere. This is another one where you wanna cut it so that the cap is still on there. I like them. I always like my vegetables on the younger side. These will turn a midnight black on there. Okay, now what we got going? So we have some. Who doesn't like peppers, huh? Come over here and check out these peppers. These are really cool. Absolutely lovely. Love these peppers. These were some seeds that I got for free, and these are jalapenos. The folks at rootquencher.com, they're the ones who had some free peppers that they were giving away. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that, just absolutely beautiful. I've already harvested a couple of times over here. And then, so I got a whole bunch of peppers. So before we go any further, let's look at this pumpkin. So I got this pumpkin. See, this one's already turning color on us. That's nice. That's nice. Now, if you're going to notice, I have over here I have styrofoam underneath them. Over here, I have just a bag that's underneath them because I don't like them sitting on the ground. So I'll take and I'll have them sitting on something so they don't rot out on us. That just happens to be a bag that we used to for the chicken feed. And then right here are some watermelon. Let's see here. Yeah. So this is how watermelon grew. This is called a Sweet William, I believe. This is a Sweet William watermelon. So we're going to see how ripe it is. That's going to be kind of fun. And then, yeah, see, we're starting to get our stuff going over here. Let's see, do we have any zucchini squash? No zucchini squash. These plants are getting old, they're getting tired. We're going to want to get rid of them soon. But I do have this one right here. This has always been a real favorite of mine. Absolutely love this one. Oddly enough, you don't even need your cutters to get this one. You can actually just prune it off with your fingers. Let's see, I did that with my fingers. This is another one. This size right here is typically the size you would harvest it, but I like the small ones. Very prolific plant. It happens. This one is a straight neck heirloom zucchini. I've grown this one for several years. Look at the colors in there. Isn't that pretty? Look at all those colors. Absolutely love it. All right, let's go into the greenhouse over here. Okay, so this is how my pumpkin starts off. Starts off like that, and then before you know it, you turn around and it's going to turn orange on you. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so I'll tell you what we do here. How about we let's see what's inside of these things, okay? So we have ourselves a nice clean cutting board. This is the yellow squash. So you actually eat it. You want to wash these off first. I'm not worried about it because I grow everything organically. I know that I'm not going to have body parts falling off if I eat these things. But normally what you would do, there's different ways of doing this. Look how easily that cuts. Okay, so you can cut this in two different ways. You can cut these in rounds like this, and then you could put them in an air fryer, put them in an egg bath. That'd be just fine. You can cut them in any kind of pieces that you want. Mrs. Things Green usually cuts them like this and then cooks them up. I don't like boiled vegetables, so she usually fries everything up, but it's done with an air fryer. So that's kind of how we do. That's our yellow straight neck squash. So this one right here, much bigger. If you want to see what's inside of here, we can go like this. Cut it open. Now, if we allowed this to grow huge, get real big, these are all the seeds. The seeds you could harvest, and that would be a good thing to eat. Here's another one that this right here. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but eggplant can be kind of bitter. So a lot of times what people do is that they'll they'll soak it in water before they use it. It does hydrate them a bit, but basically what we do is that we just cut the top off. And this is another one. You can make poor man's caviar out of it by cutting up in little tiny pieces, by really dicing up stuff like this, make it real tiny, and then you would cook it with tomatoes and different things. Anyway, so you would just cut this open like this. Another egg bath, use some panko on there, and then fry it. I like them when they're crispy. Absolutely delicious when you end up doing it that style right there. Now, we already looked at these right here. Your broccoli, absolutely delicious beyond belief. If you're going to cook these up, this is one that you can boil up on here. You just use the ends. Or, you know what? There's nothing wrong with you taking these and just eating them like that. But it is kind of dry. You got to have some water to go in there. So that's another one. Let's see here. Oh, here's this. Remember our cabbage? Let's take our cabbage and cut it open, see what it looks like. Cut the bottom off. Now, if I was to cook this, again, I would either take it and cook it up for coleslaw, and all you do is just cut this, slice it. Well, we'll show you right now. So first, let's cut this open. Look how beautiful that is. Is that not gorgeous? Love that. So if you're going to make and cook this up, you could wedge it like this. Get yourself a pan, fill it up full of water. Wait till it gets a little on the softer side. Put some salt in it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Or if you're going to make cabbage out of it, just take it and cut it up like this into strips, and you can have your coleslaw will be done just like this. See how that works? Be careful, this stuff does stain. The Native Americans, they would take this and they would actually use it to stain their clothes to make different colors, and it's a really, really pure, beautiful thing. All right, so let's see what's in here. So we have our jalapeno. Cut our jalapenos open, and we're going to see. Look at all those seeds. You can actually take and replant those seeds. Okay, we're going to cut this open. This is a hot one. My eyes are starting to. It is spicy, I bet. I got to taste it. So most of your spiciness comes in the membrane that's right in here. Okay, I forget where this is at on the Scoville scale. Oh my. Excuse me. That's too hot for me. Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, but that's way too hot for me. Oh. Okay. Do I do something kind of cool? That's what you could do. Cut this open. Take this like this. Cut this open. Clean everything out. Wash it out real good. Get all the seeds out, and then stick tuna inside here. That's real good. Sometimes you could actually get these when they're already what are you talking? Marinated. Marinated works really well with that. So you can have these. You buy them marinated, marinate them yourself. All right, what else do we have? That is so hot. I cannot tell you. I have no business eating something that's that spicy. So here's our tomatoes. Let's look what a tomato looks like on the inside. Open this up. Okay. Now usually you just pop these in your mouth, but look how delicious that is going to look right there. So we're just going to take this like this. These are like candy. They're like grapes. They're delicious. Okay. I do this next thing all the time in my garden. We get our cucumbers and I go just like this. Delish. Don't eat with your mouth full. Okay, so these are absolutely delicious. There's different ways of cutting this. I like my tomatoes cut nice and thin. Not tomatoes, cucumbers thin. So I like them like this. I'll eat them just like this, or I'll salt and pepper them, or I'll take and I'll cut them up this way. And then you have spears. and you could salt and pepper those spears. These are absolutely perfect. No bitterness whatsoever. Oh, this was that Roma tomato. We're not going to eat this, but that's what a Roma tomato looks like on the inside. That kind of slice. Well, let's see. Think it's any good? Yeah, it's not green. It should be red. It should be red. Oh, these are real good. Okay, last but not least, let's cut open this watermelon. And if you were to wipe this off, I mean, you're not going to eat the outside of this anyhow. That's just weird. But look how it shines up. Look how pretty this is. This is about how they are. It's how tiny they are. I'm going to pull that off. And then we're going to cut this baby open. Look at this. Love this, love this, love this. How should I do this? We're going to do it this way, I think. We're going to cut it open. It's nice and red inside. Look how beautiful that is. This obviously is a seeded variety. There's seedless that are available in the market. I'm going to go like this. We're going to cut this up. And then now, we got to see how this is. All right, so how many people were told when you were kids you eat a watermelon seed and you're going to have a watermelon grow in your stomach? Don't eat the seeds. It's true. Look at this, see? We got a nice healthy watermelon growing. I'm going to cut this. I would typically take and just go nyam, 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 but I'm going to show you how refined I am because of it. All right, let's see if it is sweet or not. It's sweet. It got down the wrong pipe. This is delicious. That is great. So are you one of the strange people that'll eat the white part of the watermelon? I can't stand that when that happens. Absolutely delicious. So I got to tell you, this is hands down one of the neatest things about gardening. When you grow your own food, it's on a totally different level. You're not going to get these kind of flavors from buying stuff like this at the grocery store. Does it take time? Yes. Are gardens pretty? Usually not. For what we have here at the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens, we work on this on a regular basis. We are really diligent on our watering. We're really careful to make sure that we don't have weeds. We look at the insect activities. We've only had to spray one time, and that was with some neem oil. And I don't even remember what the reason why we sprayed. When we sprayed, we had no insect activity. Of course, we have pollinators like crazy over here, and it's really, really good. So we started off picking all kinds of different things from our large cucumbers. I like them on the smaller side. They just seem to be a little bit more tastier. Make sure you have consistent watering going to them, otherwise they're going to turn bitter. These are foolproof. These particular squash right here, long neck heirloom squash, let me tell you, you get thousands of them, literally thousands. Your eggplants, the eggplants that aren't bitter are the long Japanese style eggplants. These other kind, the midnight ones, are bitter. We have our purple cabbage. Mrs. Things Green said we're not allowed to grow purple cabbage anymore. She wants the regular cabbage because she says there's less that you could do with them, but I already gave you some information on that. And of course, our watermelon. Oh, was it ever delicious. Oh, by the way, don't mix your hot peppers with the watermelon. Ooh. But anyway, that's the name of the game over here, and it's so easy to do. It's fun. Start small, start with one plant, and then work from there. And that's the way that we keep things green. Thanks for joining me on another excursion of Things Green. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain so you can become exposed to a green lifestyle inside and outside of the home and community, all on your terms. Join me next time right here as we help you with things green.